And away we go for a Tuesday, folks. How's everyone doing today? Really love the new song, the new intro. Big shout out to my favorite band. Really, their favorite band, never signed to a contract. Maybe that'll happen. The Madcaps. I'm going to get permission. A few of you have asked me for the recording of the song, and let me see if I get permission. I'll let you guys download the song and other Madcap songs that are available. But let's get into charts for the day really quick. Let's take care of the biz. This is entertainment. I hope you find educational. It is not financial advice, although I was a registered investment advisor, but that's a whole nother story. Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, we have our HPC seminar course. If you purchase the program or a current gold, silver membership subscriber, if you bought the software in the last 3 months, you can come. If you have gold membership, simply log in and see if you got access to the gold members page. If you have access, you can be in. I'm not kicking anybody off. But I will be after Saturday. Me and Miss Stephanie are going to get to it. So I'm not going to hound people to subscribe, but if you already purchased the program, you can subscribe as a silver member and get the gold membership. But again, we're not gonna like really go through this. Either subscribe in kind of good faith if you know you need to subscribe. Otherwise, you'll be kicked off and we're not going to chase you down. It's just got to be like that. I can't run this thing. I can't run it like a business, quite frankly. It just takes too much time, marketing wise, whatever. We can send out our notes, but I'm not going to hound people. You're either here or you're not, and that's cool either way. Let's get into Bitcoin. Chart of the day, the daily crab. Okay? Working ourselves through a type 1 reaction. Not bad. Not bad. This stopped going down where it needed to stop. And I'm still thinking type 1 reaction to 34,184 minimum. And then we come back for the big retest later this summer. I think we will get a low down here eventually. It might be months away. But I think you're going to do a 1-2 dance, and then we come down, form the low. We talked about some of these bullish patterns in yesterday's session. This prior hop level at 22,542, that's all relevant. But let's see what it does off this initial crab. The software has generated it, and it's a go. Really quick, the other thing, folks, everyone, I need to be clear. And I want to be clear, welcome all the new people. Folks, your entire harmonic pattern journey begins at harmonictrader.com as a basic member. You register now. Everything is there on the basic members page once you submit your email. And then access the software. And here's how it goes. Everyone should get TradingView. Why? Because it's the best web version, web charting software, bar none. But then we have the other pro platforms, MetaTrader, eSignal, NinjaTrader, Sierra Charts. Again, people are taking my advice and taking the trial on the HPC Pro. It's free. If you want 2 weeks, great. If you want two-week free trials, tell support you want a month. We're really easygoing about this because it's not going to take you more than 30 days to realize these tools are indispensable. That's what we use every day. And get the books, get with the software, get with the webinars, and get on our Discord. That's where everything starts. You're going to connect with fantastic people that are in the Discord and in this community to be helpful. And I appreciate those people. So absolutely, really happy to see this come together like this. And I do appreciate the support because God knows I need it to do what I want to do, which is really a fantastic job above and beyond all the nonsense that we talk serious business here. And on Saturday, I'm going to talk about why, to me, trading is life or death. Trading is life. It's life, really. And I'll get pretty deep on Saturday, but this is extremely important to me personally, that not only it's rewarding to me, it's rewarding to you folks, and that we're doing, a job where we are killing it, nailing levels. We know with a clear objective of what we're doing and what the markets are doing. So for Bitcoin, and we'll run through some crypto here. Understand that this is just reaction phase. It's making some progress to the upside here, which is okay. I would not be surprised to see this consolidate in the zone. Maybe 28.80, 836 is an area like in the middle of that zone where we might do a back test, come back and test that. So still want to keep an eye on that, but some of the other altcoins are taking off that I'll get into. Cardano is one of them. Appreciate it. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you, folks. You guys are great. Lex, I appreciate that. Thank you. David, Snipes, James. And if anyone has a question about Saturday, either connect with me or Stephanie in the Discord. Probably better Stephanie. She'll get back to you pretty quickly. Stephanie, you should post what your user handle is in the Discord. Or send an email to harmonictrader@gmail. And I'll get back to you within 24 hours. Look, I caught up on a lot of emails in the last 2 days, and I am been swamped. But I get back to you, folks. And if you really need to get me, like it's an emergency, your house is on fire, Scott, can you help? Get me with me or Stephanie in the Discord. What's going on, Ziggy? What is DMZ? Well, today's message, today's thought, subject matter for the day is DMZ, decision making zone. We have potential reversal zone. You could call that pattern. People have called that pattern reversal zone. I know Mitch calls it pattern completion zone. I don't really care. I call it potential reversal zone because the setup is a potential opportunity. It's a reversal area. We're looking for a change in character, and we utilize zones. These are concepts that were completely foreign to technical analysis when I introduced them in the late 90s, but it really encompasses how I look at patterns. As I said in the first book, The Harmonic Trader, patterns are a signpost of future potential action, like a yield sign or a stop sign. You're driving along, you see a flashing yellow. Do you slow down? Do you yield? Do you blow right through? That's how I look at patterns. That's how I start with the structural assessments of thinking of these. So, the decision-making zone, that's what we're going to be talking about on Saturday, because we want to take potential and completion and terminal bar and check back and all of those strategies into a definitive decision-making network framework. The decision-making framework that we employ looks for some characteristics after pattern completion, but everything that we're doing responds off of the auto-generated algorithms, because that took so long to figure out. I mean, a lot of it is kind of accepted as like secondhand knowledge now, but there was nothing that it was probably, I would say, to really nail it down from start to finish, to like get the exact measurements of Crab and Bat and Gartley, I'll probably say 7 or 8 years of work. I did not know the details. I didn't even know that there was a deep crab until at least 5 years after introducing the first crab. So that's what's going on. And that's what we'll talk about today. Thank you. What's going on? Hey, Claire. What's going on, Mr. Lodak? Thank you. Bumchin. Like it. Laser D. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Legal. Quick question there. Do I think that Bitcoin will go to 20K at the hop level? I think there's a good possibility that that could eventually define a critical low. That would be the maximum low. Don't really have anything beyond that. So, a 20K retest for me is the low, is the bottom end of the extreme harmonic range. Other than that, you're going to get a complete collapse, which most of them have already done. But for now, we're in reaction phase. That's all you need to know. And this is another example where if Bitcoin's going to at least stop going down and be in a bullish reaction, altcoins will run. And let's jump over to Cardano. Although, yeah, I've got my eye on this Tether thing. What the heck are they going to do with that? There's Tether, folks. Look at Tether with all these patterns. Sick. Tether and Luna continue to form patterns. I mean, just repetitive patterns. Here's W Luna. Look at these Gartley, Bat. I mean, it's nuts. The number of patterns that these are giving are really phenomenal opportunities. So just because their founder is, has got serious character flaws and, whatever, the community and apparently the apps, there's a ton of apps that are developed on this chain that seem to, I think, still have value. So, this is super speculation, but I think the other ones that you can look at, which are a bit better, things like Cardano. Now check that out. Look at these 5-minute charts. These 5-minute charts have been amazing. They really have lately. Phenomenal turning points, and you need to think of it more in percentages, not so much pennies. You look at these back-to-back crabs. For example, on Cardano, when you go from 55 cents to, basically 59 cents, what was that low? 54.7 to 59.8. Okay, there's a 10% move in a day or less than a day. A 10% move in less than a day. That's really how I would be thinking about these these gyrations and all of that. But if we go to, say, let's fix that, daily, weekly. Okay, got a couple bat patterns. We're scraping down almost to the all-time 886. Deeply oversold here. The other one that, of course, the big one is Ethereum. And Ethereum is just sitting on this hop level. It's pretty ugly off of a crab. It's not the nicest. I also know that we had a Gartley on that, on one of the, or a crab pattern on one of the feeds. Yep, on the Coinbase feed. Another quick point that I want to highlight is simply the fact that some people are really not looking at multiple data feeds, and you should, because there are slight differences where you might not get the same pattern match as me. I like to look at Coinbase and Binance and maybe a TradingView feed to get an idea. Coinbase, Binance, those are some of the largest. So I think that's absolutely the bigger ones, because if you're not seeing a pattern that I'm showing, like I have a pattern on my screen, it's most likely because you need to check your database, your data feed. With Ethereum, clear hop level, back-to-back things going on. There's your type 1 reaction. And we had a beautiful butterfly right at that top. I mean, you had it all going on there. And slam back down to the hop level at 1804 with another HSI, that green arrow. Let's blow it up. This is interesting. This is also critical. There's our hop level back here from the original crab pattern. Draw it across. Perfect test there. And then the hop level came in. The HSI check back and signal came right there, right 1 bar before the hop test, basically at 2000. So we're squeezed between 1800 and 2000 for this possible reaction. Or what should be a reversal, actually. If by definition we did realize the type 1, which we did, and we got the type 2 return in ideal fashion, then if this is the low, and really this should not get violated, 1702 is your maximum limit for Ethereum. We could dance down here for maybe 2 or 3 more days, but that shouldn't really do much more than that and start to make progress. A breakout above 2170 would get you going for one of two things. Either a minimum move back to target 1, which is sizable at 3,300, full retest of that pattern at 3,550, or as high as 3,887. This is just, if we're projecting the framework from a rather low spot, I mean, this is about as ideal for a type 2 that you could want And this is absolutely, you're out of time. You've got everything you need. Even if I was going to pull up, say, amplified, check out what amplified RSI is doing. That's our top indicator. The green line stopped about 7 days ago, meaning this green line here stops. Okay, because it's going to all the way back to this formation at the prior low way back in January. That's a complex W formation. Came all the way back, but the green line's still on because you did not take out that low. You've got to retest, and this is actually impulsive. It looks like a W, but it's not. That secondary low is a little bit below the prior low. It's still valid. This would be an area where we would say RSI band divergence is absolutely developing here. Bullish divergence. We are just a few ticks away from being able to get a rather powerful signal out of the zone. For me, amplified RSI is probably the last indicator we need to see happen, materialize, to get the true push energy behind the reversal move. Take a look at the bearish butterfly that preceded this. Okay, there's a butterfly. Check this out. Let me blow it up. Terminal bar is actually there, but we did have HSI that came in a few bars before. We usually want to see it after. Okay, that is a tough one, but you do have a few things happening with a check back. But the amplified RSI indicator, why we focus on this in comparison with HSI, because it's going to tell us if it's going to stall or when it really gets going. And you can look at that once it cracks out of the zone, which is on that bar. Okay, you start the process lower. Also, something to take note of. That happens when HSI already topped out but breaks down under the 50. Those are important considerations. I've talked about this. Go take a look at Harmonic Trading Volume 2 and 3. But this midpoint 50 breakdown is where you do get acceleration. And you go, it looks like this is sideways, but that's actually bearish continuation in the indicator, taking you down to your target. That's a lot of this we will be talking about within the decision-making framework of how to look at special situations, back-to-back patterns, important triggers, and then what are the signs that say it's time to go. Do we have X, Y, and Z at the right spot to really get going to where we know this thing's going to do a full type 1? This one did much more than a type 1, but there's clear triggers. You never got, for example, in this type 1, I don't want to spend too much time on this today. We will Saturday, but you're looking for it to move a minimum segment, but then there's no confirmation. There's no bullish HSI there that would send you up for a return. In fact, the current HSI right here where we are, is the first HSI since that butterfly completed. So that's where we're lined up, ideal within the framework. We're seeing some progress in certain coins, and I think if you can get, look, if Bitcoin could rally to 34,000, people are going to think that is like the new bull market, and I do think you're going to get stuff like this. Here's Kyber Network KNC to bounce, and I think you got, what do you got here? You got oh, look at this. Kyber is a whole bunch of stuff. Wow, look at that crab pattern. Amazing crab on Kyber. Why wasn't I seeing that before? At the 1618, but the other is a daily. I know it's a daily. It's a big daily bat pattern, or 886. I think it's the 886 on Kyber KNC. But we're down here at a very low HSI. This bothers me. There was a big pattern in Kyber. I know it was one of the ones with an 886. Oh, let me come back to this. I don't know why it's not popping up. I thought it was a shark or something. I'll come back to this. But that daily HSI, and at least respecting and responding off of these numbers, that was at 157 was your HSI check back. That could get going from here. That's a good one. Oh, I think it was LRC. LRC? Yeah, LRC was a couple different patterns. There you go. Big Gartley, looking ugly. Down here at your hop levels, around 29 or 30 cents. The weekly, that's Bitfinex. Let's get like a Coinbase feed or Binance feed. Binance feed's good. And I think this was included in the 886 groups. All of those that have done full 886 like that, that's at 49. And if you do a 236 up to 127 or even a 382 move at 180, you're talking double triples from current levels. Maybe not so much a triple, but double, go back to a buck and some kind of alt run for a few weeks, maybe. I'm trying to be a little bit more contrarian, not think of the full Luna situation for everything. Luna was quite an event, folks, and I think it's something that we're gonna have to pay close attention to. Let's see what the other one is. Engine Coin. I did tweet that as well. Here's Engine Coin. On the daily, this is another one. Let's get on the Binance feed. This is another all-time 886. Amazing that this thing did the move it did. But if we go off of all-time high to low, there you go. I mean, 886 is right on the money. And the fact that it stopped here after just a devastating decline is an early sign of something not to dismiss. 382 move up to 220. Those are pretty good. I like those. Those are setting you up. Let's go to, here's the graph. I talked about that yesterday as well. I think this is a weekly. On Coinbase, no, I think these are daily. The graph is a daily. And it was on the Coinbase feed. You also have to watch the tether pairs because they got skewed in the downdraft of Luna. Yeah, there's a question, does it work in the dollar index? Harmonic patterns. Yeah, sure does. No doubt. It works in all markets the same way, all time frames. One or two more. Here's Hex, folks. And I had talked about Hex back a little while ago about this crab. It was a couple things. There's a crab. We also had it was a Gartley there. There you go, bigger Gartley. Notice how those patterns lined up where one feed versus the other were slightly different, but take a look at Hex. Now, Hex is this massive bat. We are in a type 2. It's difficult to see, and I wanted to mention this, that we had a big thrust that gave us the type 1. And then Hex came back down for the full retest. So we're there, by definition, off of the massive correction. And I mentioned a few things about Hex and the guy that started Hex. I don't know him. I know, like as I said before, he's a rather large personality. And that's fine. I got some people called me out on this, said that this would never happen, going from 20 cents back to 12. Well, it did. And now what do you do if you're a Hex holder? You're looking for a confirmation variable, something like HSI. starting to come out of the zone. My point being, we want to be looking down here at Hex as a long opportunity after this Gartley correction. The Gartley reaction, done. Now, let's get some kind of signals. HSI might pop up here soon. And look for this as just like a running long-term correction where you'll get another opportunity on Hex. If it's at your big XA numbers around 13.2 cents, don't forget your big hop level is at basically 5 cents. If this does not trigger, give us some kind of sign. Of course, I will update if I see something interesting. I just think it needs more time. You're back there needing more time for this stuff. Is Luna making a move? I think Luna's making a move. Let's go to the wrapped Luna because that's on Coinbase, but unfortunately, they're removing this wrapped ether from Coinbase on the 27th. Unless that changes, you got a problem. There you go. Now showing a bearish crab off of that bat pattern that I started the day with. Amazing. I started with this yesterday, and boy, that was a heck of a move. We were back here. Remember the crab we started with yesterday? We were down here, and it did a double. You know, it bottomed out at 120 and went to 240. That's what's possible in vehicles like this. No, they're not the safest trades. There are better crypto fundamentally to participate in if you're going to buy and hold, but you know, I say trade these. I still say trade these. You're not until you're in a Bitcoin full-on bull market again. All of these are to be traded. That's it. And that's what I'm going to do. Appreciate it. Yep. How do you get the how do you get the program for TradingView? Again, for those that just came in, everything starts at harmonictrader.com. And let me just be clear about it until people really know. You sign up, and then you send your username to our support email right there. Get a 14-day free trial, please. And do take advantage of all the free trials before you even try to subscribe. If you want to attend the course, but you don't want to purchase the program, your best bet is probably to go with a gold membership. Because you do get, with the new gold membership, folks, we're doing monthly TradingView monthly program with an HPC of your choice. So you actually get 2. Check all of that stuff out, please. It's all there. It's all on that page. So please, by all means, check that. But again, I would be out of this position here with that crab on W wrapped Luna, and then let's look for a retracement. You know, back down maybe to 170, and then get ready for maybe a larger move, something like that. Although this bat or the Gartley, I mean, this is pretty remarkable stuff. But look. There's the Gartley on the 5-minute, type 1, comes back down, type 2, all of that at 167. And now we're back up. Now we have a pattern in front of us, auto-generated. I don't need to measure it. I don't need to think about it. I've got a pattern. I'm running into some profit targets. It's time to pull. Let it come back down and then go again. And I because this is something that's really attracted my attention over the last several days, just to take a look at all of the patterns that have materialized since, I don't know, on the 5-minute chart. This is the last 2 to 3 days. A lot of swings inside there. A lot of swings. And even if you're not trading futures and just like buying long the spot, you get key bearish patterns where they need to be. I mean, that was at 242 right there. That was a clear bearish pattern, took you down for a nasty crab, and then bang. Probably the good thing about Luna is it is responding. It hasn't just ground down to 0, but I don't know, what happens with Tether. This Terra USD. Sorry, that's the Terra USD. There you go. You got some bullish patterns on the 5 minute. You had some bearish patterns way up here, but you're 90% off the peg. What are you going to do with that? Just know that it's risky. Know that that's just a remarkable chart. It's almost like this thing is trading like it would if it went to official bankruptcy. So let's be mindful of that. One or two more. Here is YFI. I think I mentioned this before. Okay. We had a few things at where down here it was like 20,000 and the hop was at 15 and it failed. I think the weekly, let me check this feed. Yeah, the weekly on that. Obviously at an 886 all time. The 886 actually was, I think it was more like 15. This thing got so skewed. I don't know if that's even a correct range. And that's Kraken, not really my favorite. Yeah, it was about 15, 16,000. But all of these that have retested, come back and retested their extreme lows. I think we've got to start thinking, even if it's going to take more time, thinking that this is a lot closer to a bottom than a top. Here's Zcash. Zcash, beautiful back-to-back. Binance feed, so you know it's reliable. Look at the crab pattern that preceded this. Bearish crab down here, went to a type 1, and all the way to the hop level where it eventually found the top. And we're doing the same kind of a thing on the bullish side. Reaction, and then come all the way back down. But this is where your confirmation helps you. Here is your first HSI, but the check back failed. You look in the check back, it's coming to check back, it goes straight through, back down to the hop. Not the prettiest of structures, no doubt, but I'll still look at this. Like I said, if we can keep your eye on Bitcoin, if we can get Bitcoin to go up, could maybe come back to about 88. You're at 102 currently after that first bump. We want to check back. Thank you, Jay. Jay saying that Luna put out a proposal to fork the old chain before the UST attack, and the old Luna becomes Luna Classic. They would just get rid of UST and give the old holders the new coin. Don't know how that works. I don't know. I don't know how any of this works, quite frankly, because I know this stuff violates so many. If these were securities, and if this was a normal like stock brokerage, the regulatory laws that apply to stocks and publicly traded companies, if that was applied to crypto would probably be shut down for immediately until they could figure it out. There are two standards. Crypto is a strange standard. Yeah, I'll get to Tesla, James. You got it. I know you asked for Tesla yesterday. We ran out of time. I'm going to jump over to the NASDAQ because that's doing things at least today, much like Bitcoin. Oh, I know. The thing I forgot yesterday is really important is the total crypto market cap. Total crypto market cap, folks. We navigated this crab pattern for a while, and then we pretty much were looking for retest at 171, which we said failed under 168, 165, and I think this was not long ago. This was probably the end of April when I was super irritable about the markets and just saying this is ugly. That 1.36 trillion was your target. Now, you went to 1 trillion almost. That's an important psychological level that really should hold 1.08. So you need to see something down here on the total crypto market cap begin to turn up. That would be a great reactive sign. It doesn't even have to do much, but if you can continue to hold these lows, higher low, higher low, that would be okay. So that's another chart to really keep an eye on. If total crypto market cap cannot make a rally from here, then you're not going to see any reaction. And that's all we're looking for right now is a reaction off of these levels. That's it. Beyond that, it's a waiting game. It's more of needs a lot of work to do before we get there. So let's do a few more on Thursday. I want to get into NASDAQ. NQ, I think, is trying to do stuff off of the big crab pattern, and we're seeing individual price action finally come and save this thing exactly where it needs to happen. Look, we are here with right off the hop level. Looks like another beautiful pivot about to go. And I would be looking for a close today above 12,500 to seal the deal. Then, much like Bitcoin, and these are correlated, quite frankly now, we go do a type 1 reaction. If NASDAQ can jump, that's actually going to help the argument for Bitcoin. I think that's how everyone is looking at these things now. They're related. Tech goes up, crypto goes up. Tech goes down, crypto goes down. And notice we have two patterns, both bat patterns in the same relative area where taking more time, but they stopped where they needed to stop at the last ditch level. And now you're putting in, especially after the hop, the session that you had on Friday, big fat reversal candle really helps the situation. Now what you want to see is just a follow through from the hop level over the next 30 sessions or at least 25 more sessions where we can make it back to target 1, and that's going to make everyone feel a lot better no matter what happens. You need to see this. We're anticipating from here a breakout from 12.5 and it will go to 14.260. That would really help the whole deal. Not that it would be over by any stretch of the imagination, because I would think we'd have to come back and do the retest. But can this be the pattern that puts the floor on the market? It better be. It better be. From a harmonic pattern perspective, you're out of options under the hop lows. That's all you need to know. But for now, okay. We can look at, say, amplified. Look at our indicators. Even though HSI has not lined up where we want to see it, HSI came in before terminal bar. That's here. That's not really where you want confirmation. You want confirmation after the pattern. So is it not viable? I mean, you could step aside on it, but I would just say if you don't have all the ideal components and you do see reaction taking shape, it's probably just going to be a reaction. The other thing I would look for is amplified RSI to jump above the 50 level. That would really get us going. A breakout above, what's that, 51 on amp reading. And that would take a strong candle. You know, you would need a big day. So maybe we get a big day today or tomorrow, and that gets you going. I'm better about the relative position that this is in now, that it held the hop. You did 2 days there, and now you're, 700 above where you were, 600 above that low. They're not in a bad spot. Let's go to your Tesla, James. Tesla looks like this. Okay, big developments. Look at the Gartley, look at the Shark. You got a bunch of patterns here, folks. Interestingly enough, look at the gray means it's a potential Gartley, but it did complete recently. And that's off of last August low. But why this is so critical is because you do have the nice A to B, C to D, minimum structure. That it's an extended 113, but it's still okay. at least you have an ABCD, meaning A to B here, all right, projected off of that secondary peak. Come on. The minimum ABCD was around 840, but the extended alternate 113 ABCD, which is allowed in a Gartley in our software and in my definitions, sets you up with the right alignment where 786 is at 776. The ABCD component around 800. Your other BC confirmation at 127 is, again, we're looking at this between a tight zone for a massive pattern between 775 and 800. You're trading 745. What's the weekly look like? Well, weekly is not nearly as nice. The weekly, to me, says this has to hold 775. So, plenty of time on that one. And if you're looking for Tesla to rally, I have to say this. These two lows, even though that was violated, the January low was nominally violated but did not close below it, has to hold. You cannot get a daily close under 678 or it's over. I mean, Tesla will go into a much deeper correction. I do think there's a trade here. I do think that Tesla could pop off this Gartley much in the same way. Look, when you got patterns in your indice, your major index, which you do for the NASDAQ 100, and then you've got a massive pattern on a big stock like Tesla, you need to start looking, no doubt. Not to mention, we're back-to-back patterns with the shark up here at 1150. Hey, David. David's saying he's from Asia and he speaks Mandarin Chinese, I take it. Did you buy the book that we offer? So 2 of my books are available in Mandarin in China. Did you get them? Did you buy those in China? Let me know. Be interested to hear that. That would be great. But I appreciate the comment. You read the Harmonic Trading Volume 1 and it helps them figure out the framework. Thank you for the comment. I'd be love to hear if you bought that, bought the Mandarin version. Laser D, I hear you. The whole financial system is a scam, but we have to play this game as it is. It's like, it's like going to the casino and saying the house has the edge and then hating the play because the house does have the edge. That's the game. That's why we do what we do. Again, these are going to be things I'm going to talk about on Saturday. They're going to be deep, really deep, because, we can look at this as a whole scam, or we can look at this as a massive opportunity that even if they rig the game, we're going to be able to see the moves with the patterns. It is impossible, folks, for a single individual to bust the patterns. It's just, even with Luna, okay? And maybe I'll look at Luna a little bit more, but on Thursday. But we saw that happening. We saw that breakdown in Luna where there was no opportunity. And that's essentially what we need to do every day is predefine your opportunities, measure your market, outline your parameters, execution, entry, management, all critical before the trade is even placed. Absolutely. So keep an eye on this. Tesla, sure. How about 1 or 2 more, like Amazon? I'll look at a couple chips. See, Amazon, this needs to get up. But remember, it failed that crab pattern? Came down to the hop test and just smashed right through. Your hop is at 2506. Sorry, 2561.06. But as you were retesting terminal bar and everything you triggered, but then when you go to check back, it's just a gap down, close below the hop. You avoid those. We want to see what we want to see hop tests like what's currently happening with Nasdaq, or even look at the last couple of patterns with like look at that hop on that bat pattern. It hits the hop, it responds. Okay, doesn't blow right through. Look at this hop at 3087. What happened? As it hit it, it went right through and went straight on down. Straight on down. So for Amazon, I'm not there yet with Amazon. I think it needs more time. Either you're going to go into some kind of extended consolidation or you're going to form another pattern. So plenty of time. If you don't see a pattern, if we don't see setups, just monitor. It's fine. You're going to see other setups, in other areas. Yeah, you always want hop to hold, James. That's a great one. That is a great one. Let's look at NVIDIA, some of the big tech, uh, some of the really big chip stocks. So NVIDIA here, talk to me, folks. It's a type 2. Really, you had a first one up there. There's a second one. There's a type 2. That's your type 2 return. Type 1 reaction. Type 2 return. Type 2 reversal. Almost got the target too. Now you're down at the hop off of that thing. Can we get a reaction off the hop? Well, yeah, because look, here's the hop. It hits the hop and closes below, but spends 3 days going sideways, starting to turn up. That's when it overreaches like that, but starts to turn. Okay. And you have HSI here. So we're shaping up where we could get another reaction off of that low. And you just look, you're 179 currently. That prior low is 156. So it's not going to take much. That stop right underneath that prior low is probably the place to go if this is going to hold. Keep an eye on it. I think you're at a lot of hop levels where even a minimum reaction might surprise you. We might be 3 or 4 weeks from now looking backwards at our tail saying, boy, why didn't we jump on the hop level when we were there in NVIDIA? And it's giving us several items, several individual signals to where, yeah, we need to make a decision about that. Are we going to get a reactive pop here on NVIDIA? It's starting to look that way. It's not going to be, maybe not a huge one, but some kind of counter trend rally off of that hop level, because it is responding, is a lot better. Keep an eye on that. Let me go to AMD as well. Excuse me 1 second. 1 second. Okay, here's AMD. Here's a big fat bat pattern. 93.39 is the 886. Notice, okay, is doing a little bit more than your standard 1-2, your 3 to 5 bar consolidation. This one stretching out. Today's breakout out of the zone is a little bit better, where I could see this AMD, if we can continue this now, target 1, come back in the fall maybe, and then there's you go. But I do feel like this type 1 reaction that we're seeing in a lot of these patterns are expressing themselves, especially today. David says that he learned from Terry Tan, Terry is my trusted friend. I've known Terry for many years now, and Terry teaches harmonic trading in Mandarin Chinese out of Singapore. So he teaches the China group and he does a great stream in Mandarin Chinese harmonic patterns. I think he gets more views than I do. I know he does actually. But that's great. I'm really happy to hear that was a success for you. Couple more. And let's stick with the big ones. Here's PayPal. I would love to size this up and get PayPal at a discount. Let's go to the weekly. This one, probably more than most, has been truly confounding because I thought, PayPal, this is going to be a great future tech stock that someday will go to 1,000 a share, or one of those that, hey, if you hold on to it for 10 years, it'll catch a big bid and then go to, like Google did. Google came out at 100, went to 3,000, and it split once or twice, or it's splitting again. But it didn't. And it did this massive full reset, which I've seen before in markets. And this is one of the things that, again, it's done its devastation. 886 all time off of the low is 62.89. And that's not a bad place to be looking for this. I just think it's, you're not quite there. You fell within 10 of the 886, but that's where I would be looking for coin. What is this? PayPal. PayPal could very well be trying to set that up, and again, I think it's going to take time, but definitely, I'm considering this on such a big stock like that. The other one I mentioned before, this one does have a big fat pattern, is Zoom on the weekly. But I talked about why we haven't gone on it yet because we have not triggered anything. And Zoom is what, 88? Your 886 is at 121. All right. Just keep an eye on that. This still has not triggered for us. Even like if we're going to do a super aggressive trend line, something like that, we still need to see. Oh, I don't know. We look at it, amplified RSI. Never came out of the zone. Never really fully got out of the zone. And not to mention, this also speaks to why we want to see it come out of the zone and get above the 50 level, because the acceleration really will occur at that 50 level. But we're still in the oversold. We rolled back in. That's trouble. I would wait on that until it comes back in. Let me reload my HSI. Don't know why that's not popping up on the weekly because we fixed that. 1 second. Bring up Zoom. Oh, I'm going to have to investigate why that's not generating. I thought we fixed these HSIs. Let me see the daily. The daily triggered. I'm going to have to look at the reason why the weekly's not triggering on Zoom. But it's a massive weekly pattern that, let's look for confirmation. Not there yet. Let me jump over to the HPC platform. I want to look at Apple, because Apple does hold the key. And Apple's at a really nice point, folks. Several back-to-backs. 146 has been the number all along. Apple had this crab pattern that basically at 175 put a cap on the stock. Doesn't look like much, but I do remember getting some flack about saying at 175 Apple needed to go to 146. And we got it. We got 146 in all of this consolidation for 6 months. You got one pattern, which was a bat that led to a big reaction, type 2 return. Now we're at that ugly, it's ugly, but you're at a hop level. 146. 146 is the number on Apple. There's really not much to argue there. So let's focus on this Apple, those techs. Let's follow back with the crypto. Okay, again, we're not far away from really triggering a nice a type 1 reaction across the board. And again, it looks like this. NASDAQ, here goes the 60 here. Keep an eye on it. Above 12,500. Nice ABCD on the low end here. But again, this will get going above 12,500. And I think we'll save that for Thursday because we needs a few more days. It needs to get out of this daily zone. Here you go. This is what I'm reaching for. And every single day on NASDAQ is now critical. You want to break out of each prior day's low or prior day's high and hold the prior day's low now. So literally we can crunch this entire framework. The way we would think about this is the decision-making framework for this entire scenario comes down to like a 1-bar, 2-bar range. 1220 on the downside, and on the top side is 12,574. So call it 12.6. As soon as we break out above 12.6, that should get us going for the larger move. Let's see how we shape up. We'll be back on Thursday, folks. I started a little late today, but I had to catch up and caught up. So again, go to Harmonic Trader, get with the basic membership, check the information on the blog for Saturday session and how to get with what we're doing. It's going to be a full-on course. I'm also doing a question and answer live. We'll do 2 hours Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and then we'll go Q&A after a 30-minute break. So check that out here. And then where to log in? The login will be on the Gold Members, Silver Members page. So it'll be here. So we'll post that on Thursday after the session. And if you have any questions, you can email me. But it'll be plenty of time for everybody. Just go to the Gold Members page. So we'll get to that. I'll do a little bit more on that on Thursday. But until then, stay with this. Let's follow closely because there's a lot happening here. Bar over bar situation that is essential for what we do. I'm going to save Richmond. I'll save gold and oil for Thursday. Gold's a buy. Crude oil is a buy. That doesn't change. So let's come on back Thursday, 11:30. I'll see you folks then. Have a great one. Thanks again for everything. Go get them. See you Thursday.